Guys, welcome to the Real Awkward Podcast. The best damn podcast you heard
today.
My name is Andy.
I'm Amanda.
And I'm Ash.
Ow.
Is that
I drank my alcohol too fast.
her name's Amanda because she looks like Amanda Bynes,
Got me.
right?
That's like the worst thing you could call someone right now is Amanda Bynes.
I mean, that is a rough one. That is a rough one. Because, I mean, in my opinion, if you're like, you're just like Donald Trump or you're just like Elon Musk, I feel like in our culture right now, especially where I live, that's a bad one. But it's more of like, you're hateful or a dick. If you call someone Amanda Bynes, you are calling them Amanda Bynes strictly based on their appearance.
I'm not sure who else would be worse, like a worse comparison.
Wait, Amanda Bynes?
than Amanda Bynes.
I mean, Madonna had a bad phase where she was looking
Yeah,
but not anymore.
A cat lady. No, she looks better.
She came back to normal. She is older.
Yes,
so
she is.
Honestly, for me, it's just her. It's just Amanda Bynes' eyebrows.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Who's the cat lady that like kept turning herself into a cat?
I don't know what her name was. I want to say it was like Jocelyn Wildenstein or something, but I think she
you
died.
just made that up.
I don't know who that is.
Maybe.
She says it perfectly.
I think it might be.
I followed her for years.
I've seen her name before.
Uh-oh.
She was born on March.
Jocelyn? Fuck yeah. Jocelyn Wildenstein.
Oh, see, she knows.
Gross.
Fuck yeah. Go me. Knowing useless trivia.
Is that like RuPaul's Drag Race adjacent? Like,
No, I
how do you know
follow
crap like that?
First of all, that's just how my brain works. I just have a lot of random knowledge. But I couldn't remember to do certain I can't remember to follow up with things I need to do in my own life, but I can remember that bitch's name. Honestly,
That'll get you
I am
somewhere.
nowhere. I'm on a subreddit called Bad Plastic Surgery, and she comes up a lot
I bet.
where people relate, like when Madonna had that almost cat-like face.
Yeah.
People were comparing Madonna to her.
Yeah, it was getting close. It was definitely getting close.
Yeah, I don't know, dude. Amanda Bynes, like every time I see a picture of her online, it's like, oh boy.
Oh boy.
Like, and I think she had a conservationship or whatever.
Oh, like a
But-
conservatorship.
Oh, like Britney Spears.
Yeah, but someone needs to pull her aside and be like, honey, you do what you got to do in your life, but people
Honey,
take
no.
pictures of you.
Well, apparently she's really nice. So
Well, nice
counts
is
for
fine, but you
something.
can still look like a horse's ass.
Horse's ass, that's so mean.
Well, it's probably not that far off.
I mean,
you know what? I would
honestly-
rather people say that I'm nice and call me and say I look like a horse's ass than people be like, she's a bitch.
But looks beautiful.
Yeah.
Well, most of
Fair
the world
enough.
gets what they want when they're celebrities and they're beautiful and they're dicks. So
I mean,
that's fair.
honestly, in my opinion, I wish like paparazzi and stuff would just kind of leave her alone.
yeah.
Like, I mean, she's obviously
Leave Amanda alone.
I mean, but she's
No.
also putting herself out there.
fully. I
Hey,
just mean like even
I'm not.
I'm sorry,
bullying.
like
I'm just calling a spade a spade.
no, I know, and I don't, I'm not trying to like fully judge someone based on their face, but like that person has been through some things,
Yeah.
Fair.
and like we watched the Quiet on the Set documentary about the Nickelodeon kids
Yeah.
and like the Disney Channel kids.
Yeah.
It was upsetting, like all these guys, but all these adult men, but specifically this one guy. I don't know what his name is, but
Dan Schneider.
Yes, something.
Yeah. Because our kid was watching some shows, like Nickelodeon shows, and Andy's like, wait, Dan Schneider, isn't that the guy?
I was like, isn't that the bad guy or the guy that was like abusive or
Isn't
something?
he in jail or something? Like,
Yeah.
I don't know for sure. Honestly, that documentary, like, I had to stop watching it
Yeah.
because ever since I had a kid, especially, but I think just also as I've gotten older, I cannot hear like in-depth descriptions of how children were abused.
yeah.
Like I can't. It's just too
Yeah.
upsetting. Women in general. I can't hear it.
Yeah.
Like and I hate to be this way, it's like, you can give me the bullet points and I can make my own assumptions,
Yeah.
you know? But I mean, honestly, like, even just like the first episode, you're like, how were they getting away with some of this shit that they would have these children doing?
Well, apparently, like Netflix Studios has a whole like department where you can go to report like poor working conditions on set.
Interesting.
Or, like,
Good.
things that happen
Yeah.
to you. And like,
Yeah.
I've heard some celebrities comment on it and be like, if only that had been a
existed,
thing.
yeah. I bet that definitely is a change of tide that should have happened.
Well,
old
I mean,
Hollywood
honestly,
is crazy, dude.
well, for all actors, kids, adults, whatever, like, there has to be a checks and balances.
Yeah.
Like, because, you know, you go back to way back in the day with like Judy Garland, which we've talked about on this show before, and she was basically owned by the studio even after she turned 18 years old.
Yeah.
And she was essentially like, she was given pills to wake up and be peppy, and then she was given pills to go to sleep at night. And and I imagine that, especially if you don't have a support system, that system, you stay into it until you're not profitable anymore.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
know.
Yeah, go listen to our Wizard of Oz episode because that one has some crazy
That one's wild.
stuff.
What was it? Corey Feldman has
Yeah.
a book coming out, or he's gonna release a book that literally names names of people that, like either executives or other actors, that type of stuff,
Yep.
that were abusive to him when he was a child
Well,
actor.
I just watched an
teenager
episode
too.
with Tyler Henry, the medium, the Hollywood
Yeah,
medium,
yeah.
and he was talking to him about how like he would have a book, and Corey Feldman was like, "Yeah, I have a book. I just haven't released it yet because there's so much sensitive information
Right.
that it's really hard to like put it out there."
Yeah, yeah. That's
Well, and
crazy.
honestly, Corey Feldman has always been very outspoken about the abuse that happens in Hollywood.
Yeah, he just
especially
hasn't
to
named
children.
names though. That's the
Uh-huh.
problem.
Well, but okay. So every time he would try to open his mouth, there is an infamous Barbara Walters interview where he's talking to her,
Yeah.
and he's basically saying like these big executives, and I don't remember exactly what he said, but he's essentially saying the Harvey Weinstein.
Yeah. Right.
Like he
Right.
was like, without saying his name, because he could get sued for saying the guy's name.
Sure.
Yeah.
So like he's basically saying like the people who were in charge of this network, you know, like that kind of
Right.
stuff.
Right.
Like, and Barbara Walters just goes like, you know, well, don't you think that would hurt so many other careers if he went behind bars? Like, you know, how do you think that, you know, like we don't talk about that stuff? She essentially was
That's
just
very
shutting
much
it down.
Devil's advocate almost.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Right.
Like, yeah.
And it's kind of like, first of all, don't sit there and tell him that he gets to be honest and he should be honest and tell the truth. And then when he tries to start talking about it, you shut him down.
Yeah, shut him
Yeah.
down. That was that's the elite Epstein Island Hollywood culture.
Well, but here's the thing. Even the Epstein Island shit, like you can go find that information.
Yeah.
You can go find all that stuff.
Well, a lot of
And
stuff has been named, but they're, you know, it all comes down to innocent until proven guilty, which is what they're all hinging
yes. But also
Right.
like, you know, you have all these people who are like, oh, anybody involved in Epstein, you know, I'm not supporting them. I'm not going to do that. And it's like, yeah, you still are.
on. Yeah.
Because first of all, it was everyone.
it runs
But,
runs deep. It
Like,
runs deep.
I mean, also it's, you know, it's like, yeah, when the time comes, if you have an actor who's questionable, who's bankable, but you have an actor who you can guarantee wasn't on that plane but doesn't make a lot of money, they're going to stick with the guy who makes money.
Yeah.
Well, the problem is that it goes the reverse, where someone gets acquitted and their entire career is fucked when they possibly didn't do anything.
Name one.
Kevin Spacey, where literally his life was thrown upside down and there's not been anything that has been found guilty on him yet.
I do believe that he was found guilty in civil court.
Was he?
I'll
I'll have to research it. I am coming at this with less knowledge about it, but I do remember him doing an entire interview that his entire life was turned upside down for something that he has been acquitted from. So I don't know. There might be more to the story than that, but I'm just saying my point is that there's these other actors that this happens to as well.
No, fully. And don't get me wrong, like
Yeah.
if there is anyone, not famous or not, like if they were charged with things and had their life exploded and then were not guilty, I think
Yeah.
that there should be just as much effort into that being put out there that they didn't actually do these things.
I agree.
But a lot of times the way the world works is they only cared if you were accused or convicted.
Right.
Because, I mean, you see all the time in these documentaries about people who were falsely convicted of crimes and they were in jail for how many years?
Yeah.
Yep.
And their
Yep.
lives are over.
Yes. Yes.
Wild.
Anyway,
Yeah, so this got drab.
let's do something fun.
Okay.
You think you
Sure.
know trivia? Think again. These are the
Wait. Oh, wait. Are you doing quotes?
Nope.
Then that's the intro.
That's it.
Sorry,
That's it.
forgot.
I forgot. I was
Whoops,
into it. I was
whoops.
into it, and I was like,
Sorry.
"Oh shoot!"
Sorry, just movie trivia.
Okay,
I
so we're doing
apologize.
movie trivia
I
today.
apologize.
I have hand selected the category comedy classics.
Oh God. Oh
let's-
God.
It's got to be better than your Oscar-winning
Oh God.
movies questions
Okay.
because you guys sucked.
It's just
at
going to be
those.
Dumb and Dumber.
You guys sucked at those.
best movie ever made.
You got to be better at comedies. Okay.
Okay.
Okay, we're starting off with an easy one. Okay.
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 Which U.S. city is The Hangover set in?
Vegas.
That's it?
Yeah, that's
Right?
it.
Oh, okay.
Vegas.
Okay.
Okay.
That was a softball.
All right, that's okay, but we're
okay.
warming up, right?
We're warming up.
Okay.
Which 2010 film sees Russell Brand reprise the character of Aldous Snow?
Get him to the Greek.
Oh
Get
yeah,
him to the
that was
Greek.
the Sarah Marshall spinoff, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Forgetting Sarah Marshall.
Yeah,
spinoff.
not as
Okay.
good.
No, not as
I
good.
never watched
Jonah
it.
Hill,
I don't like
right?
that guy.
Him
I
and
think
Jonah Hill.
I think it was Jonah Hill because
Okay.
Jonah Hill was
Yeah.
in Forgetting Sarah Marshall.
Yeah.
Right.
Yep.
In Groundhog Day, which song plays on the radio each day?
Oh snap.
Shit.
I've got sunshine on a cloudy day. Is that right?
No.
Oh dang it. Oh wait, that's My Girl, isn't it?
For some reason. What did you just make
I got
the
you,
noise of?
babe.
Oh.
Oh, is that what
Okay.
it is?
That
Yeah.
wasn't
Oh,
my
okay.
guess.
Y'all weren't gonna get it.
I was close.
No.
That was the same.
You got the first two words
Yes.
right,
Oh,
and I
okay.
was really hopeful, and then I was like, "Oh,
Sorry.
I was like, all I could hear was like just kind of like old school kind of horns, like
Yeah.
melody, and I was like, in my mind, I was like, get to the part of the song.
Yeah,
Like,
my bad. Sorry. I thought I had it right.
no, you're good. You're good.
Okay.
Just a valiant effort."
Okay.
What is the name of Gabrielle Union's cheerleading squad in Bring It On? And it's not the Toros.
Burr.
I was like,
it's
Burr,
cold in here.
it's cold in here.
The Raging Bulls. I don't remember.
Yeah, I don't know.
The East Compton Clovers.
East Compton Clovers.
I was like,
Okay.
it's a yellow and green outfit.
Yeah.
That's what I
Yeah,
remember.
Yeah. All right, let's do two more here. What was the name of Marilyn Monroe's character in Some Like It Hot?
Marilyn. Minnie.
No. You've never seen it, have you?
Betty. Isn't that where she's over the grate? And she's like, ooh. Or is that not that movie?
Oh, no.
For some reason, I thought that was the famous movie with Some Like It Hot, where she's over the grate.
You might be right.
I don't know if that's.
Or is it
I don't.
Gentlemen
I don't-
Prefer Blondes?
I don't. I
don't
don't know. Talk to me.
Sugar Cane.
Oh, okay. Sugar cane. Okay.
Sugar Cane.
All right. That was her name.
I don't know if this has
Sugar
talks, but-
cane. Okay.
All right. Which of the following films was not directed by Judd Apatow?
Oh.
The 40-Year-Old Virgin, Cable Guy, or Trainwreck?
Cable Guy.
Cable guy?
Cable Guy.
Cable Guy was Ben Stiller.
Really?
Yes.
You directed
Oh,
that?
it was?
I did not
Correct.
know that.
Yes, Ben Stiller directed Cable Guy. And
Interesting.
Cable Guy was weird. Like
Cable guy's good.
Cable Guy is very good, but it has a very unique brand of humor and pacing in that one. So
It's like, to me, I always was like, it's like the movie What About Bob?
yeah.
If he was unhinged
Yeah.
instead of like quirky weird.
Yep, I agree. Have you seen
Also-
Cable Guy?
Honestly, not since I was a
Ooh,
kid.
dude. You need to see.
That's a good one. I watched it a few years ago and I was like, I fucking love Sweep. The whole medieval times thing is amazing. That's what always made me want to go to medieval times.
Or
The
jousting.
Marilyn Monroe dress is from
Yeah.
the 7-Year Itch.
Oh,
Itch.
dang it. Okay.
How old
All
was she
right.
when she died?
I want to say like 47.
Yeah, she wasn't part of the 27 Club. I don't believe so.
I just can't even picture her being 47. If that were the case.
What the freak?
Amanda,
Whoa, 36.
36.
Oh, dang.
Wow.
All
Okay.
right. All right, that's it, guys. All I'm going to do.
That's it.
You
That's
need to
it.
get some pep into your step,
Let's
and
have
then
some fun.
let's move. Let's.
I got a feeling I'm not the only one.
Who sings that?
Sheryl Crow?
Yeah,
Yeah, okay.
pretty
Dang.
sure. I'm pretty sure.
Yes.
Ooh, okay. All right. I'm a
The way-
bitch. I'm a lover. I'm
Meredith
a
Brooks.
child. Oh, dang it. When I think of Sheryl Crow, I just think of Gen Xers. Like, I just think of like jean jackets and we don't give a shit.
No, but Sheryl Crow is almost a little bit like a tinge of country.
A little bit. Okay. All right. I'm so proud of me that I guessed that shit out of my ass. Okay, listen. We are doing a actor showcase spotlight. That was a spotlight laser.
Did you record that to reuse that later?
No, but I should. We are talking about the one, the only James McAvoy. And the crowd goes wild. Okay, so before we begin, are you or are you not prevalent in Sir McAvoy's movies?
Are you prevalent, Amanda?
Yes.
Are you in his movies?
I wouldn't say I'm prevalent
Oh,
in
okay.
his movies.
Okay,
I wouldn't even say I'm featured in any.
okay.
I am familiar.
Familiar. Okay, so I want to talk about him mainly because a movie just recently came out. It is now available, I believe, on Prime for free. It is
I think we saw it on Peacock.
more Peacock. Maybe it's
Yeah.
Peacock. Speak No Evil. It is a thriller film where basically, if you've seen the trailers, McAvoy's character has kind of this slow arc into being a terrifying human being. And it's really, really cool. It has a really sweet twist that I can't really describe or it will ruin the entire film. But
I do want you to tell me afterwards because I
Okay.
probably won't watch it.
But this man's transformation of his body from when he first started acting to being the tall, lanky dude to what he is now is insane. He looks like the Hulk now. James McAvoy, why are you looking confused? He's freaking jacked now.
I guess I don't think of James McAvoy as like having big body transformations. Like,
Dude.
that's not what, like when you say James McAvoy, I'm not like, oh yeah, the guy like Jared Leto.
No, he
or
didn't do
like,
the Jared Leto and the Christian Bale thing. He didn't.
Right,
He
like-
didn't lose 100 pounds, gain 100 pounds. But the guy went from being like freaking Jude Law, lanky, like no muscle on your body, to being a freaking jacked dude in it. He looks scary when he's ripped like
Okay.
that. He looks
Okay.
terrifying. That's my point.
I just
okay?
I just
That's my
think
point.
he has a really he has a very effective way of when he transforms for a role,
Yes.
like his whole body, personality, everything
Yeah.
changes. So when he's playing a role, I know you'll get to it, but
Yeah.
like when he's playing a role where he's, more helpful and happy and stuff,
Yes.
he's very physically non-threatening and passive.
Yeah.
And even like his body language conveys that. But when he's playing an intense character, he almost like he stands differently and he holds himself differently.
Yeah.
But I do agree, Andy. I mean, going from the beginning of his career where he first starts being known by like American audiences,
Yeah.
he was always very fit, but he wasn't bulked up. And I would say
Yeah.
as he's gotten older, I would say about, I don't know what, maybe 10 years ago, I feel like he started getting bulkier. And now he's, I don't know, maybe if it's because he's older, that's just how he's working out or whatever.
There is this thing Ash and I have talked about where like the neck and the barrel chest gets bigger and bigger as you get older, and like it kind of changes your body shape and your form. So I mean that could be it, because James McAvoy I think is 45 or 46 now. I was introduced to him the very first movie I ever 45. The very first movie I was just guessing, by the way.
As you do.
I know. I'm good at the age thing.
Go listen to our How Old Are They?
Yeah. Yes, I have a superpower.
I have no idea.
My introduction to him was the movie Wanted. So in Wanted, he's like a nerdy accountant, and he works in an office that he hates, and he ends up meeting Angelina Jolie's character, and she's part of this like assassin's guild where they can curve bullets, and it gets really kind of goofy when it comes to that. Morgan Freeman's in it. It's like, I don't know, but I remember enjoying his acting style from that movie. Like when I first saw it, I was like, dude, there's something special about this guy. Like he has the ability to portray the nerdy, like dorky character. And then he also turned into this same movie, this like badass assassin. So I don't know. And then he's also had all of these cool roles that have really like pushed the boundary of not just method acting, but being able to portray so many different characters. I will say, spoiler alert to anybody, but his role in not Glass, Split.
I was waiting for you to talk about
Thank
Split.
you. His role in Split, where he has 23 different personalities.
Yes,
is like that shows the acting prowess.
Honestly,
it's absolutely insane.
That's the movie where I started to notice him, because like I saw Wanted.
Yeah.
He was in other things, but Split is the movie where I'm like, he did these individual characters like in the same movie, like to be a method actor, but then you be able to pivot from one personality to a completely different personality.
Yeah.
That like it totally impressed
me. That's a whole other thing. Yeah, you can be enthralled in one character, but to be able to be multiple.
And then it like carries on to his other films where you're like, wow, now he's doing a totally other extreme of a character. Mm-hmm. And he's able to, like Amanda said, like he's got like this subtlety.
Yeah.
Of like, you're not really sure who he is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
Which can also breed you into the unknown era, and then he can be scary.
Exactly.
Right.
And that's what I think he does so well is like, I'm not like, he seems like a very happy-go-lucky, trusting guy next door. Yep. And then you're like, I'm not so sure.
Yeah, wait, you're
I really don't know what he's going to pull out. Like,
yeah. And Split was the movie that I was thinking of, where that was where like I remember him originally from The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe.
Yes, because he was the fawn.
Mr. Tumnus.
Yes.
Yep.
And so, in that, he's fit, but he's not jacked.
Right.
And
right.
For me, because in between he did Wanted, and then he started doing the X-Men movies. But Professor X isn't muscular, so he didn't need to be muscular. I remember Split being the first movie where I was like, oh, he's jacked.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah. I do think that was a body transformation from that.
I think it was.
Yeah.
But like, honestly, yeah, when he would go to being like, I never remember the name, but like Patricia to then like the scary guy.
Oh, yes.
Was his almost like he would rotate his shoulders forward to be the scary guy, and it would like show off his like neck muscle things. And then like, I don't know, man, even just like the way he would like take deep breaths is different, and it's crazy.
Well, because I think you're right. Patricia controlled all 23. She was able to like speak to all of them and kind of be the person that was sane compared to everyone else. I forget who the little boy was, Billy or Timmy or something like that he was. And like, anyway, that whole movie just in itself showed a lot of his prowess, but I think I fell in love with his acting when he was Professor X. Like, cause I was like, okay, I liked Patrick Stewart, but I think James McAvoy was a better Professor X at the end of the day. So,
But I think it goes back to that, like, Professor X is a very like calculated man,
yeah,
where like he doesn't show a lot of emotion, and he's very like stiff and demure,
Yeah.
but then like he's got a lot going on in his head.
he communicates very well with his eyes as an actor.
Yeah.
This newest movie though, that he just had come out, that one is, God, he's so good in the beginning of the film for you thinking he's like a nice guy, right? And he has like a lot of these moments with this family where he seems really like endearing or caring, but he's always good at putting a hint of doubt like during all of his performances. And then as the movie continues to progress, you're like, oh my God, he's so good at what he does. So anyway, I kind of wanted to shed a spotlight on him. I think that at 45 years old, that's still probably, as a male actor, considered you're in your prime, right? We've talked about this before. Yeah. I think that he has a lot of things to go. Apparently, one of his best rated movies of all time is Arthur's Christmas. Arthur Christmas. It's like an animated Christmas movie. It has 92 certified on Rotten Tomatoes, and he was a voice actor.
Can you read the synopsis? Because I'm not
yeah.
sure if I've seen it or not.
Everyone knows that each Christmas Santa Claus delivers presents to every last child on earth. What everyone doesn't know is oh my God, come on. Where did that go?
I have it if you want it.
Yeah, go for it.
It disappeared on me, so that's
Go for it.
Santa's clumsy son Arthur sets out on a mission with Grand Santa to give out a misplaced present to a young girl in less than 2 hours on Christmas Day.
There you go. So this Arthur Christmas, I don't know if I've even seen it. I'm trying to remember whether I've even seen a segment of it or whether I have sat through it years ago. It came out in...
What, Amanda? What?
It's got Reese Darby in it. Welcome to Jumanji.
Oh, welcome to Jumanji.
It made me think, because we watched the two newer Jumanji movies yesterday and the day before, and every time that guy would come on, now me and Lincoln, welcome to Jumanji.
I love that guy. His next, these are like the top 10 that McAvoy's done, according to Rotten Tomatoes. X-Men Days of Future Past, it is a 90%. And then apparently a 90% for a movie called Starter for 10. It was in 2006. And, the spirited coming of age tale that remains charming and witty, even though it veers into a darker territory. So I'm assuming it has to deal with,
set in 1985,
like a quiz
working
show?
class. Set in 1985, working class student Brian Jackson McAvoy navigates his first year at Bristol University.
Okay. So it's technically
It's
a
got Benedict Cumberbatch in it.
romantic comedy.
Yeah, it looks like a rom-com.
But apparently has really good ratings. So I guess we're supposed to recommend this one to everyone. The Last King of Scotland, with Forrest Whitaker. So, a lot
I've
of
seen
those
that.
ones,
That movie is crazy. That movie is incredible.
But any of those ones that are like political dramas always tend to be really like deep rooted.
Yeah.
And then another X-Men movie, The First Class, and then Atonement, which I never watched.
Atonement's bananas.
Yeah, that one has James McAvoy and Keira Knightley in it.
Atonement is a drama, but it has an interesting twist at the end.
Okay, this one's an English-based drama.
Yeah, I never watched it because the trailers on the Blockbuster
Was it like super
thing,
boring?
it was just, it looked so boring.
Then
It
apparently
is.
he was in Atomic Blonde, and I've only seen the first like 20 minutes of that movie, so I didn't even know about his character in that, but I know that was one of Charlize Theron's like great movies. It has almost an 80% certified.
His character in that movie is fun.
Okay.
He's kind of like her not partner, but he kind of helps her out.
Oh, okay. Got it.
And I don't mind that movie. I'm not in any rush to like go watch it again. You know what I mean? It's an action movie, and it's a decent action movie, and that's what I'll say.
We have talked a lot about Split. If you guys haven't seen Split, I think all three of us can recommend Split. Granted, you do have to watch Unbreakable first, then Split, then Glass. Correct?
To get the most out of it,
Yes.
I would say you should watch all three.
Yeah.
But or Split is perfectly great.
Yeah,
Just on its own.
Yeah, I
Correct.
agree.
You're right.
Yeah.
You're right.
But don't watch Glass if you haven't seen the other two.
That will
Yeah.
confuse you. Chronicles of Narnia and then Wanted. So kind of covered the top 10 that he has. Apparently there was this one that came out in 2004 called Strings. It's an alternate puppet world. All marionettes are connected to a higher power by their strings. When one is severed, things happen. So I don't know. It seems unique. 2004. That's kind of like, isn't 2004 like the Donnie Darko days and like that type of style of filmmaking? So I have a feeling it probably hits kind of like that.
So there's
yeah.
there's an English language version,
Okay.
and some of the stuff I'm looking at has either Japanese or Chinese subtitles.
Okay. So maybe
So-
it's a
Interesting.
foreign film.
But it says, but it's dubbed. But James McAvoy is a voice in the in the English version.
Oh,
But
interesting. Okay.
so
okay.
a prince leaves his city and sets off to avenge his father, not aware his father wasn't murdered and in reality committed suicide, and soon learns the truth about his people from a warrior woman.
Interesting. Okay, that doesn't sound like the same type of movie.
The director's some
My-
Danish guy. So
Okay, so then maybe it's just a picture of the subtitles I'm looking at
Okay.
that it isn't. But Swedish version. There you go.
Swedish.
So honestly, that sounds interesting, and I probably will watch this.
All right, there you go.
yeah,
Um,
honestly, I might
There you go.
seek it out too.
What?
Oh, go ahead.
What's your favorite movie of his, Andy?
Dude, McAvoy. I mean, that's so hard to not have Split be the best movie that he's ever done. Only because of the character that he has to portray and the multiple personalities. He's just a really fun watch.
Yeah.
You know, it's hard for me. I'm a nerd X-Men fan, so Days of Future Past is very, very good. I think First Class is one of my favorite ones that he did.
I love First
Yes,
Class.
I like the whole 60s vibe in First Class as well. So I think it was good. I think I know that's not a direct answer, but those are kind of my top ones.
Honestly, I asked you the question, then I was thinking my own answer at the same time.
Yeah.
And I don't know if I could say Split or one of the X-Men's.
Yeah. Right. What about you, Ash?
Definitely Sherlock Gnomes.
Yeah.
Dang it. We missed it.
No, honestly, I have to go with Split. Like that's
Split,
the one,
yeah.
only one. That's the one that stands out in my mind when I think of James McAvoy.
Because I will say I was disappointed in Glass. I think Glass could have been way
Oh, yeah.
better. And so, yeah, for what it's worth, Glass. That is James McAvoy. If you guys haven't seen any of his movies, you are living under a rock. You got to go see his stuff. He's a good actor. And I wanted to shed some spotlight
apparently,
on him.
Andy. So we just
What?
watched Dune last night.
Yes, we did.
Children of Dune, the miniseries. He plays the dad,
Oh, okay.
Leto
Okay.
Atreides.
Okay.
Yeah.
Hell yeah. I'll watch it because I'm digging the lore right now. I like the sci-fi sand dune world stuff. So, I am lost in what is happening next. Oh,
Amanda.
It's Amanda.
I was like, damn, your wife like writes it all out for us.
No, it wasn't that.
made
It was
it
that I
easy.
had so I don't have an intro for Celebrity Spotlight, and so it was empty. And I was like, oh wait, did I not? Is the next one empty? I was confused.
God, behind the scenes.
Doesn't matter. 3 people will be like, oh cool.
Okay, ready, go.
Okay.
Amanda's Book of the Dead.
I love that. That's one of my favorite intros, by the way. I don't know why. I like it. Amanda, what type of creepy ass shit you got going on this week?
Well, I want to talk about something, and it's not really creepy
Okay.
as much as it's just kind of weird.
All right.
But to tell this story, I do need to tell another story first.
Okay.
So, a few weeks ago, there's lore to the podcast now because now we have missing things.
Oh, right.
Andy and I were both working on something for an episode, and we do not confer with one another. We do not check in because I like it to be a surprise personally. And Andy was going to go first, and so Andy goes, "Guys, you know that song, Dancing in the Street?" And he starts talking about the dancing plague of 1518. And I was sitting there bald-headed and confused and confuddled because that's what I came up with for the episode.
Which is creepy. Creepy that both of us came across that exact same thing, which is a very niche topic. That's like...
Yeah, it's not one that shows up on like BuzzFeed's 10 lists of weird things.
Yeah.
Fair. So I had a good laugh about that, and we all had a good laugh about that, and you'll never know because for some reason my audio was corrupted.
Oh.
So podcast lore.
So if you notice, the episode 267 is not there.
Actually, I thought it'd be really funny for us to still do it and then just try to pretend like you just say what you think you would say and then just like re-record it. So you listen to...
Yeah, Andy was like, let's listen to our track.
Yeah. So,
and then just add Amanda in.
Yeah. So basically I edit the thing with just me and Ash and then you have to just pretend what you were going to say as you're listening to it. And then I can add your track in later. It'd be funny.
I mean,
that's a lot
of work. That's a lot of work.
I have a lot of canned bits, so it probably wouldn't be that different.
Yeah. Okay. Got you.
So we all kind of know the story a little bit, but for listeners at home, so the dancing plague of 1518, or it's also called the dance epidemic of 1518, it happened. It was basically like a widespread case of dancing mania. People popping and locking in the street.
I am a robot.
Exactly.
Yeah, that happened in 1518. Grandma, put your arm down.
Grandma wouldn't stop doing the robot. So July 1518, a woman named Frau Troffe began to dance uncontrollably in the street in Strasbourg. That's Germany, right?
Yes. No, France. France.
Strasbourg.
Or wait, I thought it was France. Am I not? Maybe I'm wrong.
It's in France.
Yeah, France.
Well, whatever.
It's in France.
I wasn't fucking there.
And if you were, you'd be dancing.
I mean, yeah.
Yeah.
Dancing in the street.
New York City. Down in Strasbourg, France.
It's wild that there's
Oui.
two completely different versions of that song.
Yes.
You have like the original that's more like, doesn't matter what you wear. And then you have Mick Jagger, David Bowie. So, okay.
Anyway.
Sorry. According to stories at the time, the woman had started dancing on the narrow cobbled street outside of her like half timbered home, like piece of shit house. Like these people are all peasants. Like they don't live in great times. As far as we can tell, she had no music accompaniment, but simply began to dance. Some of those who had witnessed her strange performance had begun to mimic her, and within days, more than 30 choreomaniacs were in motion. And some were like so, like crazed, like locked into it, that the only thing that stopped them was like dropping dead.
Like passing out. Yeah. Or having a heart attack. Yeah.
The original woman, Frau Troffe, she was dancing, she danced constantly for a solid week. Eventually, 3 dozen people were joining her. Within a few weeks, now we're into August, the dancing plague was up to 400 people.
That's insane to think about that many people just being like,
just and there's no music,
so it's even creepier.
Yeah. The dancers were beginning to collapse. It said that some would die from a stroke or a heart attack. Most of the victims' movements were described as spastic or with just like a lot of convulsions, and their bodies would be just soaked in sweat.
It's terrifying.
Their arms would thrash violently, and some people would note that the eyes of the dancers were vacant and expressionless.
See, that's even more creepy. It's like zombie dancing.
Yes.
Yeah. Yes.
Yes. It made me think of you only see a lot in bugs and animals and stuff, but where it's like a parasite is controlling the bug still, and it's like still moving, but it doesn't make any sense. So this is what I think is like the worst symptom of the whole thing. The blood would pool in the swollen feet of the dancers, and they would eventually bleed into their shoes.
Ugh.
because like their feet would crack or like
yeah.
yes, because they're not wearing nice shoes.
Right. Yeah, they're in.
If they're wearing shoes at all.
Yeah, if they're wearing shoes, they're wearing like leather foot coverings,
wooden
like
thong peasant shoes.
Yeah. So some of the
peasant shoes.
wear your peasant shoes.
You're wearing the wrong shoes. Put on your peasant shoes.
My feet feel fine. I have Nikes. So
New Balance.
some of these dancers were at least with the program enough to like beg for help.
I just can't stop.
No, they couldn't.
Yeah.
But if they didn't just drop, they again had heart attacks, but not all of them were just dropping because they were exhausted. Hardly anything while they were dancing.
Yeah.
There were as many as 15 deaths per day during the peak. The final number of the fatalities is unknown. No one knew what caused this to happen, and no one knew how to stop it. So by early September, the outbreak began to die down a little bit, and all the people who were still dancing were sent to a mountain shrine to pray for absolution.
Yeah, that's right. Because the only thing they thought was that it was just maybe demonic possession or something like that, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
So the local government, like towns, were obviously aware of what was going on with the dancers. It attracted the attention of the authorities. Essentially, the city council gave it up to like doctors saying, handle this. And the doctors prescribed that the dancers dance themselves free of it.
Just keep dancing.
Just keep dancing.
Just keep dancing.
There are claims that like certain large halls were refurbished to accommodate all the dancing. Musicians came, and there were some people who were holding up the dancers because even though they physically couldn't stand anymore, they
just
needed
kept
to keep
moving
dancing.
their feet. That's so messed up.
Yes.
Yep.
It got to a point that the council was forced to ban public dancing as people danced in fear that it was punishment from the Saint Vitus, and to be free of sin, many joined in on the dancing epidemic. So the council also went as far to ban music. Those who danced were then ordered to go to the shrine of Saint Vitus. They wore red shoes that were sprinkled with holy water, and they had painted crosses on the tops and the soles. So apparently forgiven by Vitus was like a phrase that was used a lot, and it was what you would refer to as you no longer being affected by the dancing plague.
So there were people that like didn't die. They just like stopped dancing at some point.
It just worked itself out of their system. And they were forgiven by Vitus.
3 weeks later, you're just like, woo, what a good sesh. What a good sesh, y'all.
Like, man, how
High
many
fives.
calories did I burn?
High fives all around. Good job, guys. That's a good one. Jabberwockies.
So,
let's go.
Trying to, some people have tried to figure out what would have caused all this. A lot of people believe that the dancing could have been brought on by food poisoning caused by toxic or psychoactive chemicals in the food. The ergot fungus, which grows commonly on grains used for baking bread. The ergot is it is closest related now to LSD.
Right.
And
friggin' hallucinogen.
That is the same fungus that was kind of suspected to have been the cause of the Salem witch trials.
Right.
So there's also theorized that there was stress-induced mass hysteria because basically back in 1518, it was not easy living.
Yeah,
it was
life
very
was
hard.
Yeah.
There was no money. If you ate, it's because you worked for food. So it's theorized that it could have just been a massive psychotic break
They
for
just
everyone.
all went
Mhm.
crazy.
I mean, honestly,
Yeah.
like, I hate to be this way, you could kind of get it. Like,
Yeah, totally.
you know what? They're not
Fuck
doing it.
it.
I'm not doing it either.
Fuck it. We're all dancing.
Yeah.
What's the point? We're all gonna die anyway.
I can't stop because they didn't stop.
Yep.
Yeah, and for me, it would be at that point where it's like, okay, my feet are bleeding, I'm out. But yeah, I mean, and there is one like a researcher that believes that the stress-induced psychosis happened on such a mass level because in the region where the people dance, there was so many people dying of starvation and disease that everyone in this area tended to be very superstitious.
Oh, yeah.
So, you know, there are also multiple other cases of a dancing plague reported in the same time during the medieval era. So part of me wonders if it's a combination of both.
Sure. Yeah. Craziness, hallucinations from the wheat.
Well, I mean,
or the bread.
if you're already
Yeah.
so stressed and you're starving and dying or whatever, and then, you know, the tiny bit of food you are getting has essentially LSD in it, they're all having a bad trip.
I'm just thinking,
but-
like, how bad is that, Amanda, for you to be dancing? And obviously there's no rhythm. You're not like clapping, having fun. You're just convulsing and having a seizure. And then they're just like, bring in the band. It's like so fucked up. You're
well,
bleeding and you're dying. And they're just like,
you're like, please make it stop. Please. And they're like, spin, Martha.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know.
Yeah,
I'll
just
hold
like,
you up. Keep going.
Here
Yeah.
comes
I'll
Johnny with
hold
the
you.
organ. Like,
Honestly, the thing that I think is wild is,
Somebody
If
should have put
it-
out like a guitar case and like
yeah,
right?
yeah, jeez.
What I think is crazy is like if the idea that the food poisoning, essentially the fungus in the food,
Yeah.
is true, that's probably all these people were eating
Right.
while they were dancing.
You're right. So it
So,
just continues to go.
it just
crazy.
kept going.
Yes. Yes.
Could you imagine?
Oh my goodness.
And that would also lead credence to the people who've come out the other side are saying, "Oh, I've been forgiven. I've been forgiven." Because
Right.
they're not in a massive hallucinogenic state anymore.
right.
Yeah. Really.
Can you
easy.
imagine the lawyer like, how did grandma die?
Well, honey, she had the case.
Well,
Cakes
she
with the twinkle
literally
toes.
danced till she dropped. Oh, she loved to dance? Oh, no. She
Oh,
was
no.
plagued by it. Oh, no.
No. Oh no.
She screamed till the end.
So
Wild. So that was the dancing plague of 1518.
Bonkers.
Ooh. Let's put a stamp on that one.
We've done it 3 times now.
Yay.
No, to be
you
fair,
know what? I found it just as interesting the third time
you
around.
presented it very well on the third time. I think we really figured it out.
Thanks, Wikipedia.
I love it. Hey, I'm going to lead us out with a joke now.
Okay.
What did one toilet say to the other? You look flushed.
I hate it.
Let's go back to the dancing plague. Amanda, where can people say this podcast is not too bad?
That's like the best compliment they could give us.
This podcast is not too bad.
Not too bad.
Head over to our Instagram at Real Awkward Podcast. We have links to all of our other socials over there. You can slide into our DMs and come say, hey.
Hey.
Do that.
All right. We will see you or listen to us on the next episode of the Real Awkward Podcast.
Bye-bye.
Bye.